Today's episode of Ducktales, Who is Gizmoduck, shows the return of the titular Gizmoduck, of course, which means the return of Fenton, who's always fun, and the return of Elon Duck, who you guys know I have opinions about, though I'm not going to pretend like some of those opinions don't bleed in from the real-life person that I have nicknamed him off of. I just got to remember that the dude is written as a villain, and he is an interesting villain because he's not the typical, like, shoot lasers supervillain type. At least not exclusively. And this episode quickly establishes a lot of things. We see Gizmoduck again when he saves a bank and its patrons from robbery. Really just ends up blasting holes through the place, but at least he saves most of the money, I guess. Like, it catches fire, but I imagine they have a way to put the fire out. It's a bank. More importantly, though, he catches the attention of Huey. So now Huey is super obsessed with him. And Elon Duck, I genuinely can't remember his name, is also still super obsessed with him. So you've got a good character and a bad character who are both fixated on this guy and what he can do. Then you have Fenton in the middle, who is also fixated on what Gizmoduck can do. He's been working with Gyro, just testing the technology in the suit. But he feels like he could actually be helping people. Like, dealing with the Beagle Boys was literally no issue for him. The only issue was all the collateral damage he caused. If he knew how to use the suit better, he could genuinely help people. This is one of the most sophisticated things on the planet. And we've got his mom, who I'm pretty sure, like, we met her in this episode, right? Because we've only seen him, like one other time or something? It doesn't matter. You've got his mom bugging him to make something of his life, and he feels like he could be doing that, but that he's in the right place, because at the very least, he has access to this cool technology that he could be using to help somebody. It's a lot of relatable stuff. But, like, framed in this, like, science fantasy capacity, it's very cool. It's very well done. And it comes at you very rapid fire, and it trusts the audience to just get it and internalize it, which is really cool for a kid's show. And the main problem with the Gizmoduck suit at this point really is that its processor overheats if you do too much with it. And you've also got the processor just kind of, it seems like it just misunderstands half of what Fenton says. Like, it's this extra layer of unnecessary confusion and complexity between the human element and the suit. And, like, man, you just keep thinking when the thing's like, oh, you want to vent excess energy to keep the core from overloading? And it's like, yeah, that sounds good. But then, like, the way it does that is by blowing up. Like, it just seems like things would be a whole hell of a lot easier if this thing wasn't here, right? And throughout the entire episode, you've got Huey fanboying after Gizmoduck, and he keeps trying to talk to Gizmoduck and be like, man, I have this idea of how you could be better, you could do more. And we don't hear what it is, and it's so perfect when we finally hear what it is. But before that happens, unfortunately, Fenton is out testing how to make the suit do the stuff he wants. Working out everything that the suit can do and trying to figure out what triggers it. And he gets caught and he ends up getting fired because he blows up Elon Duck's helicopter. Unfortunately, not with him in it. He saves him first for some stupid reason. And now he's reignited Elon's direct interest in him. He gets an offer from Elon and ends up going to work for him after getting fired for blowing up a helicopter. Which is, fair, honestly. But of course, being a bad guy, all he does is he slaps a little medallion on Gizmoduck that makes him so he has to do whatever his company's clients want. And they just exploit him. And he's not allowed to help anybody who actually needs help. And then Elon ends up taking the suit for himself, but he doesn't even know how to use it to begin with. So he starts causing random destruction, and then he overloads the processor. And this is when we get the reveal of what Huey was thinking the entire time, that the processor's unnecessary. You could rewire the suit to use the processing power of the human brain and remove that extra interruptive layer between the person and the technology, and using his new improved control over the suit, Fenton's able to get the processor far enough away from the city that when it does explode, it doesn't cause too much damage. And this makes so much sense, because throughout the entire episode, like, as early as the scene with his mom, where the suit's going a little nuts and he's having to stop her from seeing the evidence of that, when he's in the moment just reacting to things, Fenton is, like, genuinely good at this hero thing. When he's just doing it, he knows exactly what to do. And, like, that is so evident again when, as soon as he takes control of the suit directly with his mind, like, yeah, the suit still has some quirks, but, like, immediately he just goes to work trying to get that explosive component as far away from people as he can, without a second thought, without second guessing himself at all. And in the end, he does manage to survive that. He's made his mother proud, and Scrooge shows up and says, hey, I'm not always going to be around to protect people. I'm basically this city's superhero, but I go on adventures. You have real potential. I'm going to give you a better version of the suit, and you're going to be an official superhero on my dime. And that's very cool. It was very cool to see this character, like, he's still a comedic character. He's still going to fumble a little bit, but come into his own, prove himself, and be rewarded for wanting to do the right thing. And it was also great to see a character who is based on the type of person that somebody like Elon Musk is in real life, whom I hate, be humiliated in front of an entire crowd of people. Which, to be fair, is a thing that happens with the real Elon Musk more and more often in real life, but I digress. This was a good, fun episode. It made good use of a scaled-back, limited version of the cast, partially made up of guest characters, and I just had a ton of fun with it. There were some genuinely funny moments in here. You had basically an entire superhero origin movie crammed into this one little segment, like from not really knowing who he is or what he wants to be to going down the wrong path to finding himself. It was all concise, and it was very well handled. It was just very fun. Just a very fun episode. And I really look forward to seeing more of this character in the future. I'm assuming he comes back, and I can't wait. I gotta say, though, as fun as Fenton was, and as fun as it was seeing him interact with the people he interacted with, funniest scene in the episode still somehow goes out to Louie, who was just abusing that app to make Gizmoduck do whatever he wanted. It was a very short sequence, but it was very funny. Like Louie is probably the best character in this show. He's just very good. All of that said, though, guys, what did you think of Who is Gizmoduck? If you have seen it, let's get a discussion going in the comments section down below. And while you're down there, you might as well like the video, share it with anyone else who think would enjoy my content, subscribe if you haven't. You can also check out links to my various social medias, as well as the many ways you can help out the channel. Those will be in the video description, but either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.